of the ceremony for this prestigious event. Today it's going to be a face-to-face presentation, and tomorrow, for 4th of July, it will be in online sessions. The International Conference of Cyber Resilience marked its third edition of this esteemed conference series, dedicated for advancing knowledge and fostering collaboration in the field of cyber security. The conference is hosted by the British University in Dubai and in collaboration with strategic partners, including National University of Malaysia, the Cybersecurity Academia Malaysia, the Cybersecurity Center of Dubai University, École Spéciale de Mécanique et Électricité, United Software and Technology International, Middle Technical University, United Software and Technology International Ghazal Leading Project, and finally for Center for Cyber Physical System of Khalifa University. Unfortunately, Dr. Tahir Ghazal will be unable to attend the conference of the day due to a personal reason for passing of his father. He extends his sincere and gratitude to all participants, speakers, and organizers for making this conference a success. He wishes everyone a productive and engaging and inspiring experience. Briefing about Dr. Ghazal. So Dr. Tahir Ghazal is an IEEE senior member and a globally recognized researcher ranked in the world of top 2% of scientists in 2023 and 2024. He holds a PhD in Information Science and Technology from National University of Malaysia, and he currently serves as a principal research scientist in Al Ahliya Amman University and a postdoctoral fellow in Khalifa University in UAE. He is also the founder and the conference chair, and he is a passionate educator, event and advocate, and academic leader, and has an extensive experience across UAE, Oman, Jordan, and Malaysia. We look forward to a wonderful and inspiring conference. To officially open our conference, it's my pleasure to invite Professor Khalid Al-Mari, Dean of Academic Research at the British University in Dubai and the Conference General Chair. Professor Khalid is proclaimed for setting a high standard of accomplishment by holding the first PhD award in project management in the region. Professor Khalid has an undergraduate degree in civil engineering from University of Arizona and a master's degree in engineering management from Catholic University of America. Professor Khalid holds a credential of having produced, through a doctorate program, the first framework for developing projects through public-private partnership in the UAE. His framework is the first to lay the foundations for a standardized PPP practice in the UAE for practitioners. It highlights the most important factor for the success of PPP projects, such as a value of money, risk sharing and allocation, and the role of the public and private parties. Professor Khalid is also credited for developing a framework for establishing a nuclear research reactor project in UAE through the utilization of public-private partnerships, which was one of the first frameworks for PPP in research reactor project in the world, and followed strict safeguards and required full awareness of nuclear safety, security, and control of nuclear material handling. Please welcome with me Professor Khalid Al-Mari.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Dr. Rania. Welcome to our second IEEE conference under 2 months. Thank you, Professor Khalid Chalan, for arranging for this conference. It is my great pleasure to welcome all of you to the third International Conference on Cyber Resilience here at the British University. And on behalf of the organizing committee, I extend my gratitude and greeting to all of you, whether you travel from abroad, attending from Dubai, or will join our sessions online. ICCR was founded on the belief of cyber resilience is no longer a peripheral concern, but a fundamental pillar of national infrastructure, economic stability, public trust, and personal safety in our interconnected digital era. Over the past years, the conference has grown into a premier international platform, bringing together academicians, scientists, industry partners, and policymakers to explore, innovate, and shape the evolving landscape of cybersecurity. This year in particular, it is very timely to host this conference as global resilience on AI, data systems, smart cities, and digital ecosystems intensified. So does the complexity of the threats that we are facing, from ransomware attacks targeting hospitals and capital infrastructure to the risks of misinformation, data breaches, and AI-generated cyber fraud. So in this conference, the focal areas will be related to AI-driven security systems, cybersecurity and digital health, blockchain and cryptographic innovations, digital forensics and policy, and cyber threat mitigation in smart infrastructure and Industry 4. So I would like for all of you to participate in very beneficial and positive networking, as now the cybersecurity resilience is becoming part of all industries, all practices, and it is not only limited to the IT industry. So you may forge relationships related to future research or related to consultancies that major partners and industries are looking for executive programs that everyone is seeking now, and it is a very catchy term now, cybersecurity, because all entities, no exclusion, suffered from the cyber attacks. So it is a very vibrant area for investment in the future, and all investments start with research. So I encourage you all to benefit from the lectures we have. It is a very busy program, over 200 papers. So I hope that it will not be too confusing for you to select which one to attend, but the organizing committee did a great job in listing all the presentations in the program, so you may select which online session you will join tomorrow, or in-person sessions that are going in consecutive manner, so you will not miss anything of the in-person sessions. Let me please acknowledge the insurmountable efforts exerted by the organizing committee in the call for papers, in communicating with participants, and reviewing the papers in such a timely manner. So we truly appreciate their efforts and work until the last minute. And when I say that until the last minute, I mean until 10 minutes ago. So to all participants, I encourage you to engage fully, ask questions, build new networks, and explore opportunities for collaboration. Let's use these 2 days not only to exchange knowledge, because that's part of the past, but to build bridges across disciplines and work on multidisciplinary research that is really widely required in today's industries. Once again, welcome to ICCR 2025. Welcome to Dubai. Enjoy your time, and I wish you the best of success in this conference.
Thank you, Professor Mary, for highlighting the importance of research in driving innovation and collaboration. And we would like to invite you to the stage for the trophy.
first time I see General Chair. It's weird, but it's okay. I don't.
We are very grateful and thankful for Professor Khalid Berri for supporting ICBETS 2 months ago and this conference.
It's my job, right? I'm paid to do it. I don't mind.
لا عنده واحدة هذا نبتة بس I want to present you. Now we are pleased to invite Professor Khalid Shaalan. Professor Khalid has gained significant academic experience and insight into understanding complex ICT issues in many industrial and governmental domains through a career of and affiliation spanning for more than 30 years of experience in international institutions. Areas of interest is artificial intelligence, natural language understanding, knowledge of management, health informatics, education knowledge, e-business, cybersecurity, smart government services. He was selected as a member of Mohammed bin Rashid Academy Scientists under the engineering and technology category. He is ranked among the worldwide 2% top scientists. He is also ranked as one of the top computer scientists in the UAE. Professor Khalid served as an associate editor for many reputable journals, such as ACM Transaction and on Asia and Law Resources, Language Information Processing, and a member of many several journal editorial boards. Please welcome with me Professor Khalid Shaalan.
Assalamu alaikum, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In short, I am going to present some information about the conference and some statistics about the conference, how we did in the last time since we started the idea of the conference submission until the finishing of the review. So this is the third version of the international conference in cyber resilience. And the conference is motivated for cybersecurity and resilient research. And this year, the British University in Dubai is hosting the conference, and we hope that this will become the usual hosting for such conferences. As digital systems become deeply integrated to every aspects, like the need to robust intelligence and adaptive cyber defense strategies has never been greater. As we know, cybersecurity is one of the hot topic now, and many universities now are starting to focus in research and degrees. One of them is our university. And in ICCR, we serve the research community by fostering the collaboration with academic practitioners and the policymakers, working and showcasing the interdisciplinary advancement in AI-driven cybersecurity, the new trends for cybersecurity now, and digital forensic, which is now major part for fighting many cyber crimes. Blockchain, which is become one of the important things for trade and business, and secure digital transformation, providing a platform for presenting theoretical innovation, real-world application, and bridging the gap for research and industry. Many of our research paper came starting from efforts at school, at college, at universities, postgraduates, and industry well. So we cover all the parties that are interested in cyber security. ICCR contribute to shaping the future of digital ecosystem and strengthening the foundation of cybersecurity. There are two versions from this conference. The first version was in 2022, and the conference has been published by IEEE, and for the second conference 2024 and also published by IEEE, which we are also honored to have the conference this year published by IEEE. The conference is indexed by IEEE Explore and Scopus. ICCR has a research impact, and the research impact collectively is in one of the Google Scholar page, where we show till 2 days ago index, H-index of 18, and we have received citation 1,684. So this is for two proceedings, this should be something good. And the conference, because many of the universities, they value conferences that are indexed by DBLB, especially computer science. So this conference is indexed by DBLB, and these are the two versions that have records in DBLB. From EasyChair, the facts that we have, I could get, there are some facts about the submissions, manuscripts, and the reviews by the reviewer or assessments. The total submission is 823, and the accepted paper is 389, and the rejected 434. Acceptance rate, since we are in the third time, it's little bit, it's not high, it's not low, it's 47, and we are aiming to reduce in the future. The total review is 1,182. The external reviewer is, there are 203 person working in doing serious job for us, and the external review is 1,039. If we look at the review process, which is very, very important in guaranteeing the quality of the paper and guaranteeing that these papers are genuine papers, there is initial submission check, where once we receive a manuscript, editorial team conduct a preliminary review, and there are disk rejection. Disk rejection can be at once if the paper is just an abstract, if the paper is a poster, if the paper is irrelevant or something like that. Or after one review, we find that there is no significance of this paper, so we can have, since we get many papers, we are keen to do a good filtration at the beginning. The plagiarism detection and AI, this needs focus. So we follow the IEEE format and the guideline. Turnitin used to assess the plagiarism and AI generated content, as well as the reviewer looks at the content to see whether this is serious AI generated or not. The reviewer assignments, if acceptable, the article is assigned to two reviewers for evaluation. Decision based on review, based on the reviewer, there comments to submission. The submission will be either accepted, when this is very rare, or there is conditional acceptance. Conditional acceptance, sometimes we have some minor changes, so we ask the reviewer, the author, for example, extending something, or missing caption, or adding or having high quality figure or something. There are sometimes measure the paper is promising, but there are more work that need to be shown. So either more experiment, more comparison, or something like that. So we wait and give them the chance to revise the paper and resubmit. There is definite rejected, and if the paper is not up to the quality and the level of a research paper, we reject this. This is the statistics that are drawn from ICCR. So at the desk, this is the desk rejection, and are the paper that has been reviewed and given by 2 reviewers and give a chance for more revision. We looked, but also from ICCR, about the topics that has been used in the submitted manuscripts, and the top of this was cybersecurity, AI, IoT, blockchain, digital forensic, data privacy, cyber resilience, machine learning, smart cities, and cryptography. Which, if you look at them, you will find that these are the top keywords that has been used with cybersecurity in the field. The numbers of submission by the countries, there are some top countries that has submitted. Of course, United Arab Emirates, because it is the conference here, has some submissions. And in terms of the country, we have paper spanned or covered 74 countries from the world. And at the end, we would like to thank people who supported us. So our Vice Chancellor, who is, for some reason, he didn't attend today, Professor Abdullah Shamsi, we thank him for his invaluable support, strategic leadership, which continue to guide the university progress towards excellence and global engagement. We would like to thank the General Chair of the conference and Dean of Research, Professor Khalid El-Merri, who just gave us the signal to start the conference, for his invaluable support, dedication to fostering a thriving research culture that drives innovation and scholarly achievement. Thanks to him. And also would like to thank Professor Bassam Abu Higla, the Dean of my faculty of Engineering and IT, for his continuous encouragement and for championing the initiative that enrich academic collaboration and professional development within the faculty and beyond. We would like to thank our 3 invited speakers, which they came today in person. 2 of them came today in person to give us very top and highly demanded topics for cybersecurity. They worked with the industry, and they have their research, so their speech is going to be valuable to us. And a third one, the same, equally from Malaysia, it will be online. We would like to thank all the IEEE UAE chapter, and especially Dr. Hussam Al-Hammadi, who usually come and support us by himself, and he is following us for every stage for quality assurance and also for support. We would like to thank the authors for their efforts in conducting high quality research and submitting an article to ICCR. Reviewers also for their time, efforts that have been put in constructive comments and feedback, and their fights to reach a final decision. We would like to thank the admin staff at the British University in Dubai for the IT services. Without them, we can't do the speech and the online part, and they facilitate all the IT technology for us. The marketing and the management, who are responsible for all the management of the conference, including the live streaming, and the material, the administration, the catering, and the social media. Many thanks to Samar and her team. Many thanks to IT Service Jude and his team. Many thanks also to Mr. Hassan, who is responsible for the university and also who usually organize our meetings for the administration of this conference and follow-up. I would like to thank the anonymous soldiers, the ICCR's team for dedication and professionalism, especially Dr. Tahir Al-Ghazal, the founder, Dr. Nidal, Dr. Ali, and Dr. Munir. Thank you to everyone, and I wish you have a good time with us, learn from us, enrich our presentation with your discussion and idea and thoughts. Thank you to everyone, and I will leave the stage to the next one.
Thank you, Professor Shalan, for your insightful contribution. I'm pleased to invite Dr. Hussam Al-Hamadi, Vice Chair of IEEE UAE section, to deliver his speech. Dr. Hussam Al-Hamadi is a director of the Master in Cybersecurity Program and the head of the Cybersecurity and Applied Resilience Center at the University of Dubai. With a PhD in Computer Engineering from Khalifa University, Dr. Hussam brings with him over a decade of experience in cybersecurity education, research, and industry collaboration. Dr. Hamadi's work focuses on AI for security, digital forensic, ethical AI implementation, and applied security protocol systems such as drones, smart cities, and cyber-physical infrastructure. Dr. Hamadi is a senior member of IEEE, and he had several leadership roles within IEEE UAE section. In addition to his academic contribution, Dr. Hamadi actively leads initiatives to bridge the gap between academia and industry, including talent development programs, cybersecurity competitions, and applied research projects with national and international partners. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with me Dr. Hussam Al-Hamadi.
This too? MashaAllah. Can you hear me? Okay. Sure. No, it's not. Okay, sorry. Just a minute. This is on. First of all, good morning, everyone. Okay, thank you very much for the invitation again. 2 days ago, I have the worst, this muscle mass in the back. I was actually wondering if I'm going to join this meeting or not, but alhamdulillah, I joined. I'm very happy actually to see you all here. I'm very happy to participate in this conference. I would like to thank University of Dubai, British University in Dubai, actually, sorry for that, for arranging this conference. Their dedication and their talented faculties on managing the technology and driving the technology is very important for our region. Let me talk today about the IEEE UAE section and the IEEE in general. I hope, inshallah, most of you are an IEEE member, or if you are not, maybe you might actually get interest to join and to be a member in this society. So IEEE is actually stand for Institute for Electrical and Electric Engineer. They are actually one of the largest non-profit organization in the world. And we have a very dedicated mission is actually to enhance the human life using technology. And we have different visions on how to implement this, where we care about several cores, like the trust. We will try actually to get the trust of everybody that we are publishing and we are actually advancing technology where we are non-biased to anyone, and we are actually make sure that the source of it are actually legitimate and integrity. The growth and energy and partnership and all of these are actually one of the cores that we are looking forward to support in the IEEE to enhance our quality and enhance our trust with our members. Where the IEEE is actually, right now we are over 486,000 members over the world, so it makes us one of the largest or the largest organization, technology organization in the world. And in more than 190 countries, we are actually having students over 189,000 student members. We have sections all over the world, around 347 sections. UAE section is one of them. And we are actually located in the region 8, which we can see here. We have different technology chapters that actually divided into 2,815 chapters, different chapters, and student branches, where any university, they can open their student branch and the student can actually interact with the IEEE activities, and they can actually try to do some kind of an initiatives for them to improve their career and to improve their skills. And also, in addition to the branch, we have something called the student branch chapters, where the students might be interested in opening specific scientific chapters in their organization, so they don't have to open outside. They can arrange a group of people who, for instance, are caring about electrical engineering, computer engineering. They are care about AI, computational power, and this is actually a way for the student to specify their group by creating a student branch chapters. Finally, of course, we are not only care about technology, we also care about the growth of the people. So we have mainly two society, affinity society, they called a young professional, where career advice are actually there for the people who are joining. Young actually people, we are caring about providing them for events where they can improve their participation and grow their network. And finally, women in engineering is actually one of the society that we are actually here. Now, let me talk a little bit about the technical content of this. We have different sources for all IEEE members. We have technical content, as you may know, maybe the IEEE Explore is one of the most that we use, and we have actually several other contents like standard association, and also we have several contents for data port, ebooks, and author centers. All of these are actually available for all the IEEE members, but not only the technical content, also we care about the networking, where we open the floor for people to get network with each other by using several tools like the conferences, the IEEE collaborators. We have, for instance, some societies or technical council, women engineering, young professional. All of these are actually ways or tools to do the networking. Last but not least, of course, the educational part, where actually, and the career, we offer several platforms like job sites and kind of tools where you can actually monitor or consult networking or webinars over every time. So as a UAE section, I can say that the UAE section was established in 1987, and one of the co-founders of us, Dr. Isa al-Bastaki. And we have actually, we consider right now one of the largest sections in the region. And we have 9 technical chapters and 2 affinity group with around 29 student branches for every university in the UAE. What about the membership? Alhamdulillah, we are actually in the growth since 2020 during the pandemic. We still keep up getting more members, feeling that they are benefiting from this membership in the UAE section. And 2024, we reach the 2,000 member. And inshallah, in 2025, we have more. Why is that actually? Because the number of activities that we are doing in the UAE, such like this conference, is actually attracting a lot of people to participate, to see the benefit out of it from scientific way and from the networking perspective. The counts, and as you remember, once you join, if you are a student, you will be a student member. If you are a graduate, you can be like a graduate student member ranking. Once you join, you will get the members, several years of experience. You can nominate yourself, or you can apply to be a senior member. And of course, then you can look at actually other things that we have number of fellow, which is actually very rare. It's actually highest honor for an IEEE. And we have life members who actually pass more than 25 years as a member in the UAE. Students, we actually have in our section, we have 46%. And the professional from the faculty and the industry, we have around 54% of those members. Where we are in the region, we are in the 3rd place. We are actually considered to be the 11th out of 83 section in the region 8, and the 30th in the worldwide in terms of the size. Well, the society, I will actually just mention the name of the society of the chapters. If you are interested actually to participate on any one of these society, once you are a member, you can choose which society you are affiliated with. For instance, we have a communication and signal processing society as a joint chapter. We have a computer society, an educational society. Some of us actually care about the educational methods, and they care about seeing how they can improve the education sectors with the AI or with other technology. Geoscience and remote sensing society. We have also other joint chapters where you can access the micro theory and the antenna propagation, the instruments, the power and energy, which is right now it's beaming in several sectors. The power electronic societies with also signal system, solid state circuits and circuits and system society. We have another joint society also from robotics to control system society and engineering in medicine and biology. Finally, of course, 2 affinity society of women in engineering and young professional. And recently, we opened a technology and engineering management society, which is actually a TEMS society where people from the management, they can engage with the IEEE, and they can actually participate in several events, how to apply, for instance, technology in their business field, for instance, like finance field or management or any other topics. Now for the activities here, we can see that we have more than 30 conferences in 2024 and over 90 events in 2024 also. All of them are actually about distinguished speakers visits, seminars, competitions, and more. And when you are actually be an IEEE member, you will have access to all these announcements. You can join for free. There is no actually financial. As we said, it's a non-profit organization. So anybody will get access to this, and they are welcome. Every year we are doing kind of an annual gathering. And please, if you would like, when you join, you will be invited to attend this gathering where we actually show the 2025 activities and what we are actually achieved for the next round. These are actually a few pictures about our activities. We encourage the students to arrange events, and we support them, or even financially somehow. Sometimes we support them. And we signed MOU not only with academia, also with industry in order to build the relationship between IEEE and link between the academia and those industry in a way that we can actually gather some kind of an insight, what is actually important right now, what is the trend. And this is actually a very important step, as we know there is a gap somehow from the academia to the industry, and we try to bridge between this gap by involving industry in our activities and our events. And the more we have Huawei, and we have Huawei is actually one of the ones who actually get an award recently that they are like collaborator friends with the IEEE. And we have several women in engineering events that also relevant, could be of your relevance. As for the conferences, actually something like this one, thank you very much for arranging it. We have, in 2024, we got 36 conference, and we are thinking that it's going to be actually increased. And July was not actually one of the months, so this one is actually can land the mark in the future presentation where we had ICCR in July. You can see here what type of months we have, which cities they are actually having these conferences, and we are opening the floor for anyone if they like to submit a sponsorship from the IEEE to their conference. We are welcoming them, and we can arrange kind of fund for those who's actually recent, just started idea. If we see it's an innovative idea, if we see it's actually going to benefit the region, we can arrange collaborators, we can arrange sponsors to such an idea, and try to engage with us very closely, as we will, inshallah, try to guide you on what is you need to do, what you need not to do in such case. So how to apply? There is actually an online form. As you can see, you can fill the form, and we have Professor Amjad Ghawanma. He's actually the current conference coordinator, who is going to also like what they call it, going to send you emails back and forward in order for you to put your application and put your proposal up to the level that we are expecting. The student branch, we have 29 student branch. You can see these actually name of these universities and the number of the students exist on those universities who are members. Finally, the 20th IEEE Student Day, we have doing this every year, and the next one will be in Al Ain University, inshallah, in 2026 on Abu Dhabi campus. That's all for now, and thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Professor Hussam Al-Hamadi, for your valuable perspective, and we would like as well to refer you a trophy. We would like to highlight again on the high appreciation for the British University on Dubai and the strategic partner, including National University of Malaysia and the Cybersecurity Academia Malaysia. And now we'd like to invite you for a group photo, please. Then we will continue with our presentation with the keynote speakers. It's now our distinct honor to introduce our first keynote speaker, Professor Anadin Wahid. His presentation is titled IoT in GLAM, Navigating the Ethical and Security Landscape. Professor Anadin Wahid is an academic at the University of Malaya, Faculty of Computer Science and Information Technology, specializing in cybersecurity, digital forensic, and cyber threat intelligence. He earned his PhD in Multimedia Networks from University of Surrey in 2011, following a Bachelor in Computer Science and a Master in Computer Science degrees from University of Malaya. Professor Anadin has held various leadership academic roles, including Executive Director of Digital Scholarship of Information Commons Department, Deputy Dean of Academic and Deputy Dean of Research. His research interests are security services, digital forensic, secret communication, multimedia technology, and digital transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with me Professor Anadin Wahid.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning. Professor Khalid Salan, the conference chair from British University in Dubai, conference organizer, our keynote speakers, and all participants, those in this room and also those watching our live streaming online all around the world. As introduced by our MC, my name is Inauguration Wahid Abdul Wahab. I'm currently a lecturer at the Faculty of Computer Science and Information Technology, University of Malaya. I will try to share, this is based on my experience as executive director in the department that handle what we call as a GLAM, which I will discuss in the next slide, which is here. So the GLAM is an acronym for galleries, libraries, archive, and museum. So we have one department that handle all of these 4 entities. We have this kind of structure since 2021, okay, where we combine our gallery, our libraries, our archive, and also museum under one structured management. The same thing happened as well in NUS, National University of Singapore, but it's more towards collaboration between the different department and functions, okay? So our GLAM actually is for our educational institution, which is mainly for University of Malaya. But we also serve other educational institutions, either in Malaysia or internationally. Okay? Our mission is to provide access to knowledge, to collect and maintain cultural heritage, and also preserve and make it available for either the public or especially for our researcher as well. Okay. Currently, we are moving towards digitalization. So we try to digitalize either our collection, our artifacts in the museum, and also our painting as well in our galleries. Okay. So we take various initiative and collaboration with external parties as well to improve our digital presence. Okay, so we also support or actively join or play our role in open science initiative. Okay, we have our Malaysian University of Malaya Open Science, and also actively involved in national level where we have Malaysian Open Science platforms. Okay. We also involved in one Erasmus program, also for open science. Okay, that's about GLAM. We have our gallery, the hosting paintings by our resident artists, and we also have our local artists and also international artists that also our involved or includes our academician and our student as well. For libraries, you can see from there we have actually one main library that serves the whole community of the university, and we have another 11 satellite libraries which very specific for academic faculties. Okay, so our library hosting our academic publications such as books, journals, theses, and so on. Okay, so our archive. This is where we host our historical document, right, for especially our unique collection, for example, based on the events or our traditional artifacts, and sometimes also based on specific personalities. And finally, we have our museum called Museum of Asian Art down there, where we display artifacts, and mainly our collection is on porcelain and fabric collection. Okay, so that's about our GLAM. Okay, so we go to the next part of my presentation. Title is about IoT. So everyone know what is IoT, but I just want to kind of recap this related to our experience. Okay, so IoT definitely can improve various aspects of our life. Because why? Because the power of the IoT itself, the first one of its data collection. Okay, data collected from the sensors and so on. The second one, the power of the AI algorithm, and also where the AI algorithm will provide the intelligent capabilities. Okay, and then the third one, the power of the networks, which allow or provide as the network as a medium of communication for collaboration and also coordination between IoT components. Okay, and then based on that power, so IoT can enable like smart home. This is we usually heard these terms. Smart cities like Dubai, smart agriculture. Nowadays, either in like scale of the industry, so maybe sometime for our personal agriculture project. Okay, and then in our case, smart clam. Okay, and then by having all of that smart term, so it can enhance our efficiency. How? By IoT allow us to have kind of real-time monitoring, right? Or predictive maintenance, for example. And IoT also can enhance the productivity by providing a convenience. Means we can monitor and we can control devices remotely, okay, or from distance. And fourth one is safety. Okay, for example, now we have healthcare monitoring project, and also the crowd management, which I will discuss later. And also the last one is sustainability. When we have project like traffic management using IoT, so we can reduce the congestion and also lowering the vehicle condition emission. Sorry about that. Okay, so that's about the two terms in the title. So when we move towards the implementation of IoT in GLAM, so I will start with this to show or to share what has been done or what has been implemented in some of the gallery, universities, museums all around the world, especially in our academic universities. So the first one for collection management, IoT in GLAM, RFID, okay, has been integrated into a Smart Chef project, okay, and individual assets. So the example that has been done for National Library of Singapore and also Delft University of Technology in Netherlands. Okay, so they utilize RFID for their book collection. So which allow, when we have RFID tag in our book collection, it allow for self-checkout using our apps and also automated inventory system to monitor our assets. So by doing this, it significantly reduces the staff workload, okay, especially to locate where's the book and so on, or the status of the book. In doing their routine tasks and also improving the book availability for the patrons of the library. Okay, so that's the first implementation for collection management using RFID. So another example of IoT implementation in GLAM is for environmental monitoring. Okay, so IoT technology implemented for climate control or monitoring, okay, to safeguard our heritage, especially because definitely we cannot replace it if it's gone, especially our artifact and so on. So there are two examples. The first one is in University of California, Berkeley Library. And the second one is in the Louvre in Paris, the famous museum. So both are using sensors for temperature and especially the humidity monitoring. Okay, because it's very important, especially we need to monitor the environment conditions. Okay, for the library, for example, we want to ensure that some of the material is quite sensitive to the climate, okay, like our rare books, our manuscript, and so on. Okay, so the same thing for the Louvre, for example, for the paintings, they need optimal and temperature and also humidity level. So both also allow, let's say, for example, if there's any issue or deviation in terms of the environmental monitoring, they can trigger the alerts. Next, when IoT used for occupancy tracking and visitor analytics. Okay, so we want, so two cases over there in Seattle Public Library, this library, and the second one is the Museum of Modern Art in New York. So both, they are using IoT to get an insight, okay, of the visitor journey. Okay. So the benefit is that by tracking the visitors' movement and so on, they can actually optimize the space, improve staffing, personalize the content, and also understand the visitor behavior. Okay, and also if we look at the Museum of Modern Arts, by knowing or by understanding the visitors' movement and so on, it also helps in terms of the overall museum layout design. Okay, so we move to the next one, where IoT also used for smart lighting and also energy management. So especially for museum, and also we have example over there, Chicago Public Library, and also museum in Amsterdam. Okay, so they implement the smart lighting system where they control the level of the lighting based on the natural light condition outside, and also the occupancy of the visitors. Okay, I try to go through the title of the papers for this that has been accepted for this conference. So I try to put the related paper of this topic to what we have in our conference. So paper ID number 604, okay, which is, I think, related to this smart lighting and energy management, which will be presented later. Okay, so I try to relate my talk to what we are going to discuss later in the conference. Okay, so next, IoT also used for smart access control. This is pretty common, biometric access system to allow or to control or to secure the to have restriction access to certain exhibit or storage facilities. Next, IoT also used for digital signage and wayfinding. For example, in the library of at the University of Library of Birmingham in the UK. So they use beacon technology to they use for proximity-based communication. For example, if they have any promotion or any information specific to that location, so they can do it by using this beacon technology, okay, or notification as well. Okay, so we move to the next one. IoT in GLAM also used as here in terms of the user experience. Okay, so for gesture control exhibits and augmented reality, so by implement this AR or VR, Sometimes we allow experience beyond the physicals. We have a new dimension of engagement which is in virtual environment. So the benefit is that we can enhance, for example, if you have a storytelling, the personalized learning, for example, they can have access to the model and so on, or 3D model, okay? And also the potential for metaverse conversion as well. Okay, so that's about the AR and VR. Okay, now we move, so the previous slide is about just an example of how the IoT has been implemented in GLAM environments. So when we talk about IoT, okay, so IoT comes with a dual nature, okay? It comes with benefits and also it inherent risks, especially with its features. And we talk about the three just now, the connection, the data collection, and so on, okay? So while IoT usually provide us with immense benefits, the interconnected nature of the IoT also creates a new kind of attack surface or ethical complexities. Okay, so GLAM institution, based on that, must move from security by or from the reactive security. Let's say means if we have problem and then we work on that problems. We need to move to so-called as a proactive method or approach where we try to go with security by design, okay? And we look at ethics by design as well, okay? Because we need to balance between the innovation of the IoT. With IoT, we can do a lot of things, but we also need to balance it with the risks that come with it, okay? So for this topic, also I found out one paper, the paper ID is number 18, talking about the evolution of classroom dynamic in the age of AI and IoT. Okay, will be presented later during the conference. Okay, that's one about opportunities and vulnerabilities introduced by IoT implementation. Next one, as what mentioned, IoT with its sensors, okay, will collect a lot of data. Okay, sometimes we do also have sensitive data. So the nature threat for this sensitive data is that sometimes we have unauthorized access. Sometimes we do have acquisition or exposure of confidential or sensitive data. Okay? So the insecure IoT equipment can be kind of entry point, okay, into our big networks. Sometimes it happens due to the default credential, which I will discuss later, or sometimes we also unpatched vulnerabilities, kind of that. Okay, so if anything happens to our data, so definitely we will have an issue with trust and so on. So one example, back in 2019, where the National Gallery of Australia, okay, they experienced a breach originating from insecure smart picture network, okay, smart picture frame that is connected to the network. So seems like for us, like the picture frame is nothing can happen, but we can see from this example that it can be actually, even it's just a simple frame device connected to the internet, it can be the point of entry for any intruders and so on. Okay. I also include some papers down there, which I think related to the topic if you want to have a look. Okay. The second, we also need to consider about the insecure devices and network vulnerabilities. Okay, so many consumer grade or sometimes even our personalized or specialized IoT devices, when they are designed, they don't actually primarily, they are designed primarily for the functions and not actually designed for robust security, right? Because we know, especially the sensors and so on, okay? So the common issue is that lack of, absence of regular security check or updates or patches, okay? So this can introduce a further issue or risk, okay? So if we have this kind of device in our network, so it will lead to the easy exploitation for malware, for botnets, or even sometimes maybe direct intrusion to our network, okay? One example given there, for example, when we let's say GLAM purchase a smart door lock which come with the default password. If we don't change the password, then it will be an issue. This is not only for this example, but I think it's pretty common for us. Let's say if we network routers, for example, or switches, so pretty common it comes with its own default username and password. So we need to ensure that we change it. So before we use or before we put it into action. Okay, so that's about network insecure and also the devices itself. And then we try to look at, we extend the attack surface, not only consider our network in our organization. So let's consider about the ecosystem itself, okay? So we look at the supply chain risk and also the third-party integration, okay? So we need to ensure or need to have the trust to the ecosystem itself, because usually our organization, if we have the IoT component, so usually we don't build it in-house, okay? So we usually rely on the third parties like vendors or software developer or cloud service providers and so on. So this third party or vendors, let's say if they have any weaknesses at any point from the, let's say if we go to the manufacturing level up to the implementation, so it may include or it may introduce a risk as well, okay? So that's about the devices itself. And also when we have, when we talk about IoT, the component usually will come from different manufacturers and so on. So another issue is with the integration challenge, okay? So how to ensure the seamless, when we talk about IoT, we try to have a seamless connectivity and so on. I'm one of the members for Malaysian Standard Department Group. We are looking at this aspect as well, looking for standard for smart city. For example, when we have a different system, we have different sensors, these sensors collecting data. So how that data can be used by other department or for other purpose and so on. So we need to ensure, for example, the formats and so on is compatible, okay, to support the open access, okay. So how to deal with this? Usually we will have a rigorous vendor vetting. We need to ensure that the vendors actually compliance with our requirement, and sometimes we also perform regular audits to ensure these third-party dependencies are looking after, okay? So with regard to the papers for this conference, I found out there's the paper ID number 819, talking about privacy preserving aggregation in IoT sensor network via federated averaging algorithms. Okay, so that's about the supply chain or the ecosystem. Next, the data integrity and corrupting information. We have a lot of data, okay, so we need to ensure that its integrity. So we try to protect data from manipulation. Okay, so what can happen to our data? It can be alteration, it can be destruction, okay? So, and commonly, this thing happen without immediate signs any kind of evidence or kind of that. So, for example, we can say that sensors that reading the environmental data, like in the museum just now, for example. So, if someone managed to tamper that data or that by the sensor, so something very bad can happen. For example, it will damage our collection and so on. Okay, if we don't control the temperature, the humidity, and so on. Okay, so another things about the data integrity and corrupting information is that if we try to go further, let's say we use this data for AI. Okay, so usually we use data for training the AIs and so on. So the corrupted data, let's say we have this data which is corrupted, will also lead to the bias in AI model. So that's another problem based on the previous issue, which is data integrity. Okay, so I also found that there's one paper for this conference, paper ID 819, with the title of Privacy Preserving Aggregation and IoT Sensor Network via Federated Averaging Algorithm, which is the same as before, okay, which is related as well to this topic. Okay, next is about legacy system and patch management. Okay, so in IoT, we know usually we will, when the new technology comes, we have a new device, new equipment come with IoT capability and so on. What happens is that we will integrate it to our existing system, okay, or our own infrastructure, like our building management system, or our maybe cataloging system in our library and so on. So we have what we call as a patchwork problem. Okay, when we have modern IoT, we try to integrate it in our legacy foundation. Okay, so the patch management is very important because we want to ensure that patch management will be a kind of ongoing process to ensure that the update is always there, because when we rely on our legacy foundation, we need to ensure that it's properly protected. Okay, so for example, like when we have a new CCTV, for example, with features like face recognition or movement detection and so on. But we attach that CCTV to our old network video recorder, for example, which we are not properly protected. So the attackers will just target that NVR for the purpose, okay? And then they will be able to access our system. So also for this topic about the legacy system and patch management, there's one paper, ID 107, okay, about the in-depth integration of control system and automation technologies in digital factories. Okay. Okay, let's say we have all the security measures put to protect our system, but the incident still happens. So we go to the next level, which is for digital forensic in our connected environment. Okay, so it's very challenging, especially when we want to trace the digital footprints in our connected environment. Okay, so for example, if we have any security breach, so we need to ensure that we have a software that are capable to extract, okay, all of this evidence from different devices, okay, especially we know the different data formats and so on. Okay, so it's to collect and preserve the digital evidence from IoT devices, to analyze the network log, to we look at the device metadata for digital forensic and so on. So we, as an addition to that tools that we need to have, we also need to look at the clear incident response plan. Okay, sometimes we don't prepare with this. We just wait for, or we are not waiting. We just accept. We just hope that nothing is going to happen. Okay, but suddenly when it happens, we are panic. So that's why we need to have a clear incident response plan in place. With regard to this topic, I found out that paper ID 786, okay, about the cross-device evidence mapping in cybercrime investigation using Siamese neural network, which may be related to this topic of digital forensic in the connected environment. Okay. And then we look at the privacy concern, profiling. I think we have I've discussed about that. How do we profile the users and so on? So the main concern here is the extensive collection of the personal data, like their location, their movements, and then maybe their interaction history, for example. So there might be a blur line, okay, between the service of monitoring, okay, or surveillance and invasive surveillance, okay, for good, or maybe sometimes we go further until we go up to the invasive surveillance, okay. So the public perception is very, very important here, because sometimes people will reject at all this type of approach, even though we know that it's for a beneficial purpose. So the case study in 2019 in San Francisco Public Library, they tried to implement this pilot program for camera and sensors for surveillance, but the people reject, and then they have to cancel the project that is back in 2019. Okay, so that's the kind of evidence showing that how important or how the public sentiment can also affect our deployment of the project and so on. Okay, so I found out one paper for this conference, paper ID 186. We're talking about engaging the Gen Z through personalized social media content. Okay, the mediating role of perceived relevant on-platform engagement. Okay, so that might be useful as well. Okay, I've talked about the data or the what we call it, the compromised data. But now we try to look at we have a data, but that good integrity data. But the problem is that sometimes when we implement it for AI, okay, so we try to ensure that fairness in data-driven decision. So people talk about AI a lot. So AI model, when we train it on a large data set from the IoT sensor, visitor interaction, and so on. So there's a possibility that there will be a societal biases, okay, if we don't actually look or cater or properly in terms of the data equity. Okay, so one paper talking about this in this conference, paper ID 183, about legal and ethical challenges in using artificial intelligence in criminal investigation. Okay, so user consent and transparency. This is another topic which is very important, because sometimes we keep collecting the information or the data without user consent. Okay, we need to ensure that if we want to collect data about the user, for example, we need to ensure that we inform the user about what data are being collected. Okay, who can access to that data, and how long we will keep the data, and how actually user can also opt out, okay, from that process as well. Okay, so that's about user consent and transparency. I will go faster. Digital divide and accessibilities. This is another issue that we need to have a look. Sometimes we come up with technologies. For example, we have app-only interactive exhibit in museum. So we may have an issue with people who don't have mobile phones, for example, or gesture control. Okay, maybe okay for most of the people, but sometimes we have people with limited mobility and so on. Okay, so one paper in this conference, paper ID number 18, about the evolution of classroom dynamics in the age of AI and OT, which will look at things related to this digital divide and accessibility. So we move towards about how we can balance the innovation and values. Or this is about ethical, still on ethical, where sometimes we have a lot of data. Okay, so sometimes we're also thinking about how can we monetize this data. Okay, so there might be a time, maybe the third party will come to you, can you share me that data so then I can use it for other purpose or whatsoever. Sometimes it's okay because it's anonymous or aggregated data, but we still need to ensure that we need to look at the innovation itself and how do we balance it with the values. Okay, two papers that I found it from this conference might be related to this, how we balance innovation and values. The first one, paper ID 187, and the second one, 486, about the ethical implication of data privacy and personalization, okay, in digital marketing especially, okay, for different purpose, and global data governance for enhancing compliance of ethics across intelligent financial service networks, okay. So next, about the how do we deal with some of the issue and so on. So we may need to look at the robust technical safeguard. Okay. So for example, the device hardening, we need to secure our device. Network segmentation via VLANs and also subnets for specific devices, and schedule for security patches. And finally, we need to look at the possibility of having our IDPS or intrusion detection and prevention system. We don't want, we try to avoid the problem from happening. So we try to detect it before it happens. So two papers I found related to this topic, paper ID 808 and also paper ID 803, okay, related to this threat detection. Next one, about the comprehensive data governance and policy. As a summary for this part, we need to look at, maybe we need to establish a review board. Okay, we have a cross-disciplinary committee to look at the how we govern the data itself and what's the policy available. Okay, so paper ID 809 in this conference, looking about these audit trails for which I think related to this data governance and policy. Next one is user-centric design education. This is more about the end user. So the transparency, accessibility, and literacy about the user consent. Okay, we also need to come up with a user-friendly interface, so to avoid or to reduce the errors and so on. Staff training, digital literacy program, and also accessibility. When we design our system, we need to ensure that the accessibility is there for different type of people with special needs, especially. Okay. And then collaborative approach and future planning. So we might also need to look at establishing our ethics committee. Okay, so to look at this issue. Okay, so to move forward, so we need to look at all of these. For example, continuous improvement, cross-department collaboration, and so on. Okay. So, and related paper, I found it from the conference, paper ID 79, about enhancing cyber resilience in critical infrastructure, the role of AI in strengthening the three-pillar structure of SOC, CERTs, and also SEC. So, towards the conclusion, if you look at GLAM, so we need to ensure that, or to recap, IoT offers the immense potential for our GLAM, but also we need to ensure that we have a robust cybersecurity and proactive ethical governance. Okay, so we also need to invest, basically, okay, for talent and technology as well, for to foster the culture of vigilance in IoT infrastructure. So this is a kind of conclusion. So I just want to show that how I try actually to navigate my presentation or what I have discussed to the topics of our topic of interest in our ICCR. So some are directly mentioned or discussed, but some are pretty much similar or under the same general topic. So with that, I hope that the presentation has served as an introductory platform towards our more details discussion in this ICCR conference. So with that, I thank all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Sorry. Okay. Prof? Okay, thank you very much. Second. Okay.
Thank you, Professor Wahid, for an inspiring keynote speech. So we present for you the trophy now.
Thank you very much for the very nice talk.
It's now our distinct honor to introduce our second keynote speaker, Mr. Khalid Faraji, to present to us about securing operational technologies to protect industrial production. Mr. Khalid Faraji is a seasoned leader in industrial control system and operational technology with a distinguished track in managing complex binding processes and delivering high-value projects across the OT and OT cybersecurity landscape. As head of binding and project management, he drives strategic planning, proposal development, and project execution, ensuring alignment with both organizational goals and client expectations. Mr. Faraji is currently pursuing his PhD with a focus on technology and artificial intelligence in organizational context, and he brings a strong academic foundation to his professional practice. He holds a Master of Business Administration, a degree in Electrical Engineering, and a dual certification as a Project Management Professional, PMP, from PMI and IPMA, underscoring his commitment to global standard and excellence in project governance. Mr. Khalid's leadership is defined by a structured approach to risk management, stakeholder engagement, and performance optimization. He has consistently delivered innovation and operational efficiency in dynamic, high-stake environments, and his expertise spans smart manufacturing, ICT infrastructure, and integrated system positioning him as a key enabler of digital transformation across the region. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Khalid Faraji.
Is this me?
Yes.
I need the glasses. See? Yeah, I think this is the one. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Rania. I didn't know that I have all of these, to be frank. I would like first to thank the British University in Dubai for giving us this opportunity to show our point of view with regard to what happens in the academic. Of course, special thanks goes to Professor Khalid, who all the time tried to engage industry to be part of these sessions. So the topic today is about securing operational technologies in order to protect the industrial facilities. Through the presentations which I saw, it has a lot of common grounds with what Dr. Aynuddin presented in the museum sector. So now we want to show you how we deal with these topics in industrial facilities. Just I want to start with an introduction. What is industrial control system is? Actually, it is a cyber-physical approach to critical infrastructure management. It's something which is connected to physical equipment. So like, for example, controlling an AC or an IoT device put in a museum, controlling the humidity, it has somehow to be connected to a physical equipment. There will be a logic controller who will decide on that one, sensors to measure physical parameters,
a logic controller to make decisions, and finally an actuator or a motor to take an action. The official definition of a control system according to NIST is a system that is used to monitor and control industrial processes. This is the main idea. The difference between this system and other systems, it's a real-time system, which is a deterministic system, which means that does not mean that it should be fast, but it means that the action should be taken in a defined and known period of time. You cannot, it's not like the normal system where you open the Excel sheet from a computer. Sometimes it takes 10 seconds, sometimes it takes 1 second. In industrial control system, this shouldn't happen. It is a deterministic, which means that within, for example, 5-6 seconds, you should have the action done. This is what makes a difference than others. And the way it is designed to serve a long-term deployment. It's not like an office computer where within 5 years you would have an upgrade. This is normally related to factories, critical infrastructure, which is normally in the range between 20 to 50 years life cycle. It has many components in our terminology. It has a PLC, which is programmable logic controller. It has a SCADA, which is supervisor control and data acquisition system, and sensors and actuators are part of the system. And where you find such systems, you find it in almost everywhere. In energy sector, you find it in smart grids, for example, the grid which supplies electricity to us. In water and wastewater stations, the water which we receive in our home, it is controlled by an industrial control system at the pumping station. We find it also in manufacturing, food and beverage, for example, sugar factories. You can find similar solutions. We find it for major infrastructure like oil and gas facilities. The technologies behind all of these is called operational technologies. It's the PLC, the computer. It's corresponding to the IT world. The IT called them IT, information technology. Our technology called it's operational technology. So trend-wise, how the control system evolved over the years, starting from the 20th, it was a normally relay-based system. Then in the mid-60s, we start to have an analog system. Then after that, a digital system. Then in the 2000s, or a little bit earlier, we start to have a networking and the human-machine interface to this one. And in the 2010, we start to find integration with IT equipment. And after that, now we are starting to see it like in IoT. We call it, by the way, IoT, Industrial Internet of Things, not IoT, which goes for the domain, for the IT domain. And we will have also digitalization and cloud integration for that one. But how this trend moves, we found that the trend goes like this with the utilization of the commercial off-the-shelf components. The beginning of the industrial control system starts with have a priority equipment manufactured specifically for using that system, and we start to introduce normal IT devices like computers, like operating systems, like switches, and this utilization increases over time. Now it reaches to the level that you almost don't differentiate between operation technology and IT technology. I know that all of you are academics. I didn't put the tech marks here, so I just want to show the trends. It's going in the upper direction. And the advantages for using commercial off-the-shelf devices is known to everybody. It's a low cost, low initial cost, and faster development to the market. So industrial controllers are very expensive to prepare and to make. It also have a proven reliability because these are tested in other environments, and you'll have almost the vendor support. Like, for example, if you are using Windows is there for the IT and OT, so the vendor will be supporting you. And sometimes it has a scalable and integration feature. You can integrate it with different facilities. For example, integration of your production line to the to the order management line. So without commercial off-the-shelf devices, you will never reach that level. Of course, it has some disadvantages. The major disadvantage is security, which is the topic of this seminar. I just put two pictures to show you what the difference between a control system 50 years back and nowadays. Besides having ladies to be part of the operational control room, there's a big difference between that picture and this picture. A lot of space is there, a lot of analog devices, but now instead of moving to the next table, you just only swap a screen and all of that. So this is the classical control system was like this. This is the new control system, which is like this. So I kept this the same picture in the next slide, and just want to compare between both IT environment and OT environments. So we almost see no difference. So there's a computer, there is a mouse, there is a keyboard, and there is a screen. This is a bank maybe, and this is an industrial facility. So whether we like it or not, IT and OT are converging. And they are connected to each other and generating a new common zone, which we call the demilitarized zone. So this is good enough for, as we said, that we have a faster development to the market, but also has some risks. Regardless what you see in a control system, this is an example of an architecture for an industrial control system. You can find clear boundaries between where is IT and where is OT. And I just made it in the same picture. This is the red one. The red zone here is the OT zone. And the middle one is the IoT interface. And the upper one is the IT zone. So how much complex the network, you will find all of these, the three elements are known in the architecture. But having said that, there is also, we see a trend in cyber attacks for industrial control systems. If you notice, before 1980s, there was rarely any incident reported for attack on a cyber over industrial control systems. If you see the trend over the years, it is going in an exponential way. This means that hackers start to have their hands on the industrial control system, and this is now dangerous and will impact the operation. And finally, we need to do something in order to protect it. Some figures about what is being done in the security. They say that 61% of the smart factory has experienced one incident in their life. 53% of the factories are already connected to the IT, whether they know or they don't know. The moment you plug your mobile to charge it from a USB, you are already onto the internet. And it is also a need. If you have a well in the desert, you also need to know how much this well is producing. So you need this connectivity by all means. 72% of the manufacturing have experienced ransomware, because ransomware is very good for manufacturers. The moment you go to the factory, totally stop, either pay this money or you will not restore the operation, immediately they will pay. Of course, in the public, we don't know about these things because they are kept in secret, but we are from the industry who receive calls. I receive a blue screen on my machine, what to do? And the only answer is just pay what they are asking you to pay. So ransomware is very common in manufacturing, and as per records, it is 72% of the factories has experienced this type of this. So we need to do something in order to protect these critical infrastructure. The reason for that is clear. Yesterday it was isolated. Today nothing is isolated. Everything is connected. Now everybody has his phone here. I'm sure he's connected to the internet. So I am already also connected to the internet. And the reason for this connectivity is what everybody mentioned in the earlier slides, digitalization. Digitalization is the trend, and it is changing everything. And the proof for that things are being more digitalized is in 2010, we have 8.8 billion devices connected to the internet. In 2022, it is going to be around 30 to 40 billion. We expect in 2025 to have 41 billion devices connected to the internet. But not only the number of connectivity is increasing, the number of published vulnerability is also increasing. So this will be it will explore more the vulnerability. So there will be more published vulnerabilities and more connected device means your exposure is actually the multiplication of this plus this. Yeah, we said that IT and OT are becoming converged, but there are also some differences. And Mr. Prof. Ainuddin, he mentioned the data privacy, and you mentioned the data integrity. But these are the second important topics for industry. Availability is the most important topic for the plant. Confidentiality is important. It's like, in confidentiality, availability, and data privacy are like a three-stool desk. So the three of them have to be there. But availability is more important than us. So I don't care if you know how much packet of chips I produce every day, but I care that the plant should be running, because the moment the plant stops, this is one of the differences. The asset life cycle is also different. So the asset life cycle in OT in IT industry is between 3 to 5 years. So rarely you will find a computer which stays in an office more than 5 years. It has to be replaced. Our asset life cycle is 20 to 40 years. So we have to deal with this topic. The migration. Everybody of us in his computer, he will receive a notification, for example, that you have an update and restart your computer, right? This is forbidden in industrial facility. It's not allowed to do it. You have to do it, as you said in your presentation, patch management for legacy system. It has to be engineered, and it has to be selected, programmed, and they put some people on a standby and some emergency situation in case something wrong happens. And in many occasions, we do it in a test environment, then we apply it to the manual environment. So applying a patch to your laptop, which will take probably 2 minutes in office environment, sometimes it takes 4 months in OT environment. The number of the agents on the connections, you can freely install a lot of software in your laptop, antivirus software, anti-backup software, acronym software. This one contradicts with the operational technology software, and it will have to ensure compatibility. This is why we tend to limit all the time the number of agents available in this one. The concept for protection, for how homogeneous the system is there. In office environment, you can find one operating system or 2 operating system maximum. It is Windows 10, and we are migrating to Windows 11. So you'll find Windows 10, some people, Windows 11, some people, and some people in transition. In OT environment, we can find operating system. If it is not Linux and Windows, you can find Windows 95, Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 2008, Windows 10, and Windows 11 are in the same factory. So the skill of the people who are dealing with these are different than the skills that the other people who are doing it. And the main thing, our concept in the OT security, our concept for protection is a risk-based approach, not a standard approach. So you go and evaluate the risk available, and you need to know what to implement and what not to implement. And in many cases, you don't have the luxury to implement everything. For example, if you have a Windows XP controlling one machine, you cannot put an antivirus for that machine. So you have to live with the available options, and you do it in a risk-based approach. I give an example. This one, all my examples which I'm giving in this presentation are practical from existing projects which we already did. We have a connection from onshore between onshore and offshore, where we need to send a shutdown signal from onshore in case of emergency to the offshore. The IT guys, which we don't like them, came and they wanted to have the the most advanced switch, tested in their environment, approved for use, secure, whatever it is. And they selected one switch from one of the big vendors, no need to mention the names. But when we give the network details to the certification agency for the safety, he found out that the latency of this switch is more than the required latency by the standards. And for that, though you are using a high quality switch, it is secure in terms of IT concept, but it is not safe. So we have to change the switch to a lower grade in concept from a different brand switch in order to meet the network latency, which is required by the thing which is safety integrity level in order to ensure a shutdown signal. So in general, the solution was secure from IT concept, but it was not safe, and safety is part of the availability. If the safety is not available, this means that there is an availability issue with you. So we need to ensure that the production is available and the safety feature is available. So in case there is a fire in the plant, there should be a sequence shutdown in order to ensure that this works. This was an offshore, the oil and gas facility. So a shutdown signal, the integrity of the shutdown signal means a lot for them because it can save people life, it can save also the assets from being damaged. So this is why we say that OT security should be handled in a different way than IT security. Yeah, IT, we use IT equipment, we use their expertise, we use their knowledge, but the moment we need to apply, we have to send an IT guy. Frequently we receive an emails or calls from customers. Yeah, I wanted to change the domain group policy, what you call, but the server's not working. What we will do? Okay, restore it from the backup and don't touch it till we send somebody else from our side, because we don't apply it in the same IT concept. But how we do the protection in IT, in OT environment, we depend on a thing called defense in depth concept according to the standards, IEC 62443 standards. And the defense in depth concept, it considers 3 types of defense. The physical security first, then network security and system integrity. And the whole standard is built on that concept. With these 3, I will answer one of your questions, Dr. Aynuddin. With these 3, the standard is structured in this way. This is the product supplier. You have to go to the standard section 3.3, 4.2, and 4.1. This is when you said an IoT device, how do you know how it is developed? The standards mandates that the manufacturer has a software and hardware development lifecycle in order to be used in security. And you should obtain a certified equipment here. And if you go to a good manufacturer, he will tell you, my switch is certified according to IEC 62443-4-1. Without using this, you missed the first gap. So the question which you asked was very valid. You use an equipment, you don't know what was inside this equipment. Then the system integrator function will come, where the one who's having a secure component by itself is not enough, but it is mandatory. Then the system integrator will come in between, and he will connect these together and implement a security solution. And the standards which covers these are -2, -4, and -3, -3, and -3, -2. Then the asset owner, because having a secure system by per se is not going to avoid any hacking or any let's say exploit of opportunity. So the asset owner has also a role in his to maintain this one. Sometimes the asset owner does it by himself, and sometimes there will be a service provider who do this in his behalf. We Siemens, we have here, this is the factory, this is something integrator, which is our role in the region, and sometimes also we support the asset owner in doing all of these things. But all of them, you have around nine sections of the standards who will talk about the role of OT security in each phase. How we do it, actually, in OT security, you need to know first who is your enemy and how much capabilities he has. So we study the people from what resources he has, what motivation he has, what is the know-how that he has, and what means he is using. So if you have, for example, the security is measured in 4 bands: security level 1, security level 2, security level 3, and security level 4. Security level 1 is it's you as a manufacturing organization. You can't okay, I want to meet security level 1 or security level 2, and how you know this one? Based on these parameters. So if the one who's going to attack you has simple resources, does not have much resources, and he has a low motivation, and he doesn't have complex means, and his know-how is limited, you only need to comply with security level 1. Of course, if the one who's your enemy has a substantial resources, like a nationwide, and he has a very high motivation, he has advanced or sophisticated means, tools, techniques to do this, and he has an extensive know-how, you need to comply with security level 4. So this means that you are an industrial facility. You need to put yourself which security level I need to comply with. Of course, if you have a small factory who just does 20 kilograms of yogurt, it's an overkill to go to look for security level 4. Nobody is interested in this level. But if you have a nuclear power plant, you must comply with security level 4, because the people who are trying to get down this equipment will have this type of skills and indefinite resources and high motivation. So once you know what level you need to know, you go and do like an assessment where I am from that level. And based on that assessment, you identify certain gaps which you need to cover in order to reach the requested level. And this is why we call it as a risk-based approach. So where I am, what I need to do, where I need to go, and what are the gaps in order to let me go from this step to that step. This, for example, compliance with security level 4 for security level 1, which is protecting your equipment against a casual or coincident violation. Security level 3, for example, which is the most common, by the way, it's 2 and 3, 4 and 1 are less common, is a protection against intentional violation using sophisticated means with moderate resources and knowledge in IC and industrial control system. I'm giving here an example where how you can be compared to security level 1, security level 2, or security level. For example, for physical security, we said that IEC, you have to ensure that physical security, network security, and system integrity. If you are in security level 1, your control room door should be locked, for example. If you are in security level 2, your control should be locked and you should have a card reader. So how complex the technology you are applying is corresponding to what level you are need to reach. If you are at security level 3, or you need to be at security level 3, you should use revolving doors, for example. You should also use card reader. If you are in security level 4, you have to have revolving doors, card reader, and probably also video surveillance system. It is the same if you go for each type of security. You need to define what the technologies you need to apply for security level 1, 2, 3, and 4, and based on your requirement, you get what you want. These are examples from assessment done for major clients in the region, not in the UAE, but in the Middle East. And we found that they didn't even meet security level 1. A major oil and gas production, he meets 90% of security level 1, but he couldn't, he's required to be by security level 3, by the way, by the government. But he didn't even meet security level 1. And these are the gaps. TP means technical proposal, AP means administrative proposal. Sometimes you need to achieve the requirement of the standards using a technical proposal, a tool, an equipment, or an administrative procedure. Means the process, for example, access control system, or let's say, for example, a procedure that you need to do. Here also, for example, in physical security, look, the note of the assessor, he couldn't meet the requirement, and the note was the door to the kitchen next to the control room was open. Through this open door, the control room was accessible. So since it is accessible easily, so he couldn't meet the lowest level of requirement. There is a back door like this, and this door goes to the kitchen, and the control room like this. This has to be locked. If you want to go for security level 3, for example, it has to be to have an access card for that one. This is how the standard. So what is the approach? How we do it? First, we do the assessment. Then we do the implementation. The implementation will be coming in 2 phases: engineering phase and implementation phase. Then after that, we will go to the continuous support. If you remember the ICs, how it is structured, it's also structured in this way. First, assessment, then choosing the right components, then maintaining these right components. This is also another process. We do it for our customer, where the first phase, what we need to do for you, the second phase and third phase. But if you combine all of them and summarize it, it will come to the 3 phases: assessment phase, implementation phase, and maintenance phase. And typical security equipment we put in our system is, first of all, firewalls, patch management, whitelisting, endpoint protection, risk awareness. Risk awareness is very important in terms of security, network segmentation, and all of this stuff. So standard tools which also being used by IT equipment, but we deploy it in our OT. There's some statistics from Gartner. They said 60% of the industrial facilities are still in awareness phase. They still would like to know what's going to happen. 30% are distributed between their phase. Either they have some startup phase, or they are firefighting to avoid hackers in their environment. And only 10% of the organization are having an integration or an optimization phase. So this means that we have 90% of the customer are still in a discovery phase. So that's all for me. If you have any question, I can answer. Otherwise, أهلا وسهلا دكتور.
My field in my question is essentially, first time, very good, thank you for your presentation. The system in the serial automation, including different steps. It's okay. Can you please repeat the question? The online indeed.
Can you come, doctor, here and can just a little bit, because I cannot also hear. Yeah, the question is? No, as you like.
Okay. Okay, so my question is related. In the serial automation system, including different steps, start from sensors, then pass to control system, then
Yes.
pass to actuators and so on. Some drive, including and in this drive have different type of transistors.
Yes.
Like MOSFET, like IGBT, and that. So response time is very important parameter in a system like this. So how can you manage response time in case you have any problem in the system, like suddenly over voltage, suddenly over current, suddenly bad response from any part from the system? So
Response time mean response time to fix any problem?
No, that means if you receive information from the sensors, then you give order to the actuators to run to stop the response because you have a certain problem. So how can you manage the response time, especially you have process, programming, and so on?
As I told you, industrial control systems are deterministic systems. So, which means that you should done from input to output, it should come in a determined period of time. It does not mean that it has to be fast, but it has to be deterministic. And for that one, you need to select the controller, which is suitable for your device. For example, if we are talking about pharmaceutical industries, we put it in a 50 millisecond cycle of the processor, because from the time I receive the input and process the information and take the action, it shouldn't exceed 50 milliseconds. And the PLC, industrial control system, the good thing of it, when it tells you 50 milliseconds, it means 50 milliseconds. It will not. It's not a sequential calculation. Do the first step, then wait. It's
like parallel control.
It's not a parallel control. It's a sequence control. It's a real-time sequence.
Sequence control, I would do, but here we have something important. The problem with any power electronic device, including time on a range of microseconds.
Yes.
So in this case, I need to, I don't know, maybe reduce the steps of the software.
It depends. For us, I'm talking about our system. You have to define which control cycle you need to put. For example, we don't put temperature control in a very fast control cycle, because temperature will not change suddenly.
Yes.
But I will put it in 200 millisecond cycle. And but the pressure, for example, it's changed very fast. I put it in a very fast control cycle. And the industry, you are talking about 10 millisecond cycle from end to end, 500 millisecond cycle end to end.
So you select suitable controller
You suitable controller, and for advanced controller, you take this part of the program, I want to put it in the fast cycle. You can even collect which part of the program you need to put it in the fast cycle, the medium cycle, or the slow cycle. So, but as you are right. First, you need to select who's your partner, who's your supplier, in terms of automation or in terms of security.
Yes. That's really, I have an
Yeah, if you need anything, by the way, I'll give my contacts. My contact, call us anytime. We are.
Since related to the presentation here, you mentioned performance limitation.
Yeah.
Some source of limitation for that.
This is I will tell you something, because here it's advantages and disadvantages for using the commercial off-the-shelf devices.
Yes.
Advantages is that they are cheap, they are fast, there's a product manufacturer support, but we said performance because it's easy to find an industrial controller or industrial equipment who can withstand 85 degrees. But for commercial off-the-shelf devices, is not. So we have switches without fanless design, and they can work up to 90 degrees. So this is why we mean a performance limitation. So sometimes we need this one. I'm talking about commercial off-the-shelf devices. It's something which you buy from Carrefour or from online. You cannot. Sometimes there should be a limitation in the performance because you need an equipment with high degree, high humidity. That one you cannot find it. So this one you need. This is a challenge which we receive. So it's easy to use the same laptop for the industrial control system, but this one is not industrial grade. It is if there's shock, if there's vibration or something, this will be impacted. This is what we mean by performance limitations. Okay, thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Yes, go ahead.
Not technical question. My name is Suleiman Yerima. I am an educator and researcher from BU here in cybersecurity. It's not a technical question.
Yes, sir.
I'm just wondering, why is it that in your industry, disclosure is not very common? Like we were talking about ransomware, but we don't hear about it. Do you have your own
It's not,
And because from a point of view of learning lessons, disclosure is good, databases become better, our TTPs, we get to know them, our products even become better, the CTI becomes better. So can you enlighten us?
I'll tell you, this disclosure, it is from the customer side, not from our side. For OEMs, we and other equivalent organizations, we are part of something called Charter of Trust community, where we have to publish any vulnerability we found in our system online. So this is why if you go to something called ICCR, you will find that Siemens, Schneider, they have the following vulnerability, and in order to avoid it, you need to do this workaround. So we publish this. But when you receive a ransomware in a customer facility, we are covered with them with a non-disclosure agreement. They tend not to disclose these things. They will, whatever happens, they have to deal with it and finish it. This is sometimes coming from the government, sometimes it comes from their own organization. But they have some areas in the world, they have obligation to publish if private data was part of this compromise. If it was published, most of the countries, by the way, if, for example, by accessing your system, your personal data was compromised, they have to announce this and they have to put it in the newspaper. But if it is something which is not known, because many times I'm telling you, some companies have the mindset that we don't negotiate with attackers. But finally they have to negotiate, because otherwise, especially ransom. Yeah, this is exactly happened to us, because their dogma, their belief, we don't negotiate. But their plant was 1 week, not operational. So they have to pay finally in order to save the others. So they don't like to publish, because the moment if you are in a food and beverage, for example, and you have you receive an attack, and you publish this, do you know what will happen to your organization? Yes. And maybe market also that damage. I mean, if you want to buy, for example, certain type of euro, you got from a company, and you know that company was attacked. The first action for the public is not to buy this at least for 1 month in order to see what is happening, because you don't know the attack reached where. They played in the recipe, they added something wrong, you don't know. So they keep it, and they only announce it once it has some leak of personal data, so they have to announce it. Of course, every company of these can have like incident response plan. They will call official authorities, and they will call forensic. Dr. Ayunuddin also has a paper about forensic analysis. They will call people to analyze what happened and how it is contained in order to build the trust again. But the normal public, normally they will not.
Yeah, but that thing after the IR, right? Is it shared so that lessons can be learned, especially within similar operations?
Yeah, I'm sharing a lesson for you without mentioning the name of the customer. Why you want to? I told you this guy, it's a major oil and gas company, not in the UAE, but in the Gulf. And finally, their control room is open, it's easily accessible from the kitchen. It is simple to solve it, by the way. They added one card reader and they complied with the requirements. But without bringing an assessor, they wouldn't know this fact.
Question.
Yeah.
That, non-compliance, what happens to non-compliance? Do they get fined?
Normal authorities, they will issue the regulation, and they will tell, for example, these companies has to comply with these regulations. For example, Saudi now, they are issuing something called OTCC, and they classify the organization level 1, level 2, level 3. For example, if you have a water treatment plant and give water to public, you have to comply with level 1. They come and assess you, and they will give you grace period. For example, 6 months to rectify these. Because sometimes rectifying all of these, it's a project by itself. It's a cost. And sometimes they need a budget, and they need to implement a project, and the project needs time to be executed. It's not a 1 minute thing. But if you don't comply after the grace period, definitely there will be fines, or there will be actions, some disciplinary action from the customer. But yeah, you are right. It's like a fine. Nest, for example, they are giving fines. Nest is in Europe. Any further questions? Okay, thank you for your time. Happy to receive anything after that. Take this.
Mr. Khaled Karachi for this interesting presentation, and now I would like to give you the trophy.
Any questions from anybody later? We are happy, we are willing to.
Okay, it's now our distinct honor to introduce our third and last keynote speaker, Professor Technologist Omar bin Zakaria. His presentation is about bridging gap of a human firewall missing link in information security management system. Professor Omar bin Zakaria is a professor at the National Defense University of Malaysia since 2010. Previously, he was with the University of Malaya, Kuala Lumpur. He has more than 30 years of experience in the academic field. The field are in the information security and management system. Through his career, he has published more than 100 papers, and in terms of consultation, he has been an assessor of several schemes for more than 10 years. Professor Omar holds a PhD degree in information security management from Royal Holloway University of London. He is an active researcher in information security management, which cover a range of from managerial aspects, information security to technical aspects in order to assist the management of information security process. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Technologist Omar bin Zakaria.
Okay, I can start now. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning at Dubai time. It's now 12:48 in the afternoon in Dubai, and it is about 4 o'clock in the afternoon session in Malaysia. It's about the different time is 4 hours. Okay. Can everyone hear my presentation?
Yes. Yes, we can hear.
Okay. My topic right now is about the bridging human firewall in information security management system. As you know that there are two types of firewall. One is technical, okay, that can be managed by the technical person, okay, to control any packets to go in and go out from our computer networks. But right now, we have a bigger perspective of firewall that we try to consider. It is about human, because human is the person who are using the system. And if we have sophisticated equipment, but the people that handling the system is not competent and is not aware about the current threat, and the control is useless. That's why my aim, my objective today is to promote the participation from all employees. Because it is not enough that the technical staff is handling the security issue in the organization. I'll give you an example. Before I proceed, I give you the introduction. There was one case in Malaysia. Okay, it was way back 2002. Okay, it's one company in Malaysia being attacked by a virus. Okay, and the whole network was down at that time, and due to that, everyone is depend on the technical staff. The recovery time is not really fast. Was not really fast because the technical staff need to configure the problem for every PC, personal computer or laptop and so on, and it will take time. But if we have a basic security task that can be done by all employees, the recovery time will be more faster. And this is the moral that we need to establish human firewall. One of the human firewall is we need to suggest the job spec for everyone. Okay, and if you can see from my contents, okay, I will go to the definition, introduction, categorization of human firewall, okay, management level, technical level, and user level, and then summary of this categorization and question and answer. And we go number one, categorization of human firewall. Okay, first is the management level. Okay, to make sure that everyone follow the security activities or security practice in the organization, the leadership itself need to give example. And I would like to propose that a manager must display leadership by initiating a security culture. Okay, means that needs to play a leading role to inspire and influence subordinates to emulate him, especially in security activities. Means that, for example, if he or she as a leader, he knows how to do to scan a virus, okay, then he can show his effort, okay, in front subordinate, and then from there the subordinate will have the good perception that a top management also doing himself to do the scanning of antivirus, okay, then it will be followed by the subordinate. That's why the second one is the participative security behavior from the leader can clarify subordinate security tasks. Okay? Okay? Means that leaders who display good security behavior can help promote participation by all employees in security tasks. And then once they know that the leader doing itself, subordinate would become more committed to perform security tasks. This is at the high level, the top management level. The top management level need to show their leadership by example. Now we go to the technical level, categorization of human firewall. Second is technical level, means that first thing is you need to design the basic security task. What it means, this is, as you know, in order to configure on the security activities in the organization, we have the pure technical security task and we have a basic security task. What is the meaning of basic security task? Basic security task means that the normal user can perform the security task. Example, scanning virus, doing backup, do the defragmentation. These are the basic security tasks. Why we try to propose these basic security tasks? So that during the attack or any incident happen in the organization, the basic thing on security tasks have been done by all employees. We are not waiting for the technical staff to try to help to assist, to help in terms of recovery doing the scanning, and then as a result they can increase the recovery, they can shorten the recovery time from the incident happen. Okay, the first thing for design basic security tasks, it must be structured and formally documented. Okay, what I mean is everything needs to be documented so that if the user or the staff has retired, resigned and so on, but the procedures and the tasks is being documented, and the new stuff can follow based on the documents. Okay, and the structure means that it shows step by step on how to perform the security task. Second thing is the basic security task must contain from inspection process. Inspection process means that, for example, security labeling on organizational resources means that all employees know which one is confidential, which one is unclassified, which one is public. Okay, means that if they know that in terms of inspection, there is a different type of control. If confidential means that they need to put it in the lock cabinet or drawer or so on. But if public, it's okay to put on your desk. This is one of the example. This is what call it a basic security task in terms of inspection process. Okay, if for the protection process, okay, we can ask them to every employees to do the daily backup of work, regular change of password. In terms if you are some of the users are suspicious that this password can be guessed by someone, then they know how to change the password. Or for their work routine, they also know how to do the daily backup. This is in terms of protection process. Okay, in terms of detection process, okay, we already giving the awareness that please do not open any suspicious email or its attachment. If you want, before you can open, then you need to scan first. This is the basic security task in terms of detection process. Okay, if we go on the reaction process, okay, all staff can perform the security problem escalation. Means that what is the meaning of problem escalation? Means that, okay, if our system or their laptop is infected by a virus, first they know how to do it. The first step is to scan. Once they scan, they found that there was a virus. Then they know how to kill the virus. That I call it as how they perform the problem escalation. And then the last one should have a reflection process. Means that ability to write the relevant information in the security incident logbook. Okay, reflection means that we know how to report. If something happened in their network or something happened in their laptop, they know to whom or what are the things that need to be reported. Okay, these are the things that been suggested. Okay, for the design basic security task. Okay, the objective of this design basic security task is to make sure that all employees can do the basic things in terms of protecting our computers. Okay. Okay, we still continue on the technical level. Okay, the common information security language. Okay, means that you need to have a common security language in terms of terminology so that everyone understand. Okay, let's say scan virus. Everyone understand what it means of scan virus. I can give you example here. Okay, in terms of verbal communication, everyone can understand and perform the required task. For example, secure your personal computer physically. They understand what is the meaning of the secure your personal computer physically. Okay, the thing is, they need your password, they need to implement security saver on their respective computer. These are what call it. For technical person, they understand. But for normal person, you need to make sure that they know the list of activities that the normal users know how to do it in terms of secure your personal computer physically. Okay, in written communication, the way that to disseminate a security message to all employees means that they understand when they say secure your personal computer physically in written communication, you list down the activities so that they can have the understanding on the verbal and the written communication. Okay. And I have another 3 or 4 more slides left, then I will be quick. Okay, and the last categorization of human firewall is the user level. Okay, the first one is the appropriate employee security perception. The first thing you need to change their security perception to the positive one. Okay, what I mean is how you want to change their perception is to redesign security awareness and training program. Okay, let's say if you can see here, perception analysis can reveal the employee's implicit basic assumption on security matters. When the problem become known, then we can then redesign security awareness. For example, inform staff on security document and encourage them to respond accordingly. And training program, develop knowledge and skill to assist them in their security tasks. For example, okay, in the security document. Security document says that you need to wear your staff card. Okay, but some of you are not wearing a staff card. This is the wrong perception. Okay, that they do translate the what has been mentioned in security policy document into practice. Then how we want to divert their perception is through the security awareness and training. We need to emphasize the importance of every employee wearing a staff card, because we want to differentiate between staff and non-staff. Okay, because if we can differentiate between staff and non-staff, then we can identify easily the guests or the outsiders that being walking around in the organization. That's what because some employees, they say it's not very important to wearing a staff card because nothing happened. But we need to correct their perception. Okay, that's why we need to redesign the security awareness and training. This is a very simple example okay, in terms of how we want to change our perception in our employees' minds. Okay. One of the ways is to redesign the security awareness to emphasize the importance of every security controls that put it in place in the organization. Okay. Okay, and so later on, also at the user level, we also need to emphasize the basic security knowledge. Basic security knowledge means that we simple things like scanning, like doing backup, doing the defragmentation. This is the basic knowledge that they know how to do it themselves without asking from the technical employees. As I mentioned to you, the objective of this is to shorten the recovery time, because if every employees know how to do it themselves, then without asking help from the technical person, then the recovery is more faster. Okay, that we call it basic security knowledge, and all the basic security knowledge need to be documented. And another one also we need to include on the recognition of reward and punishment. Okay, for example, I referring to the same example, staff are not wearing staff card. We put a punishment. We put if the security guard of the organization find that you are not wearing a staff card, then you can be fined. You need to pay something, and this is the warning. And warning also need to impose in the policy, so that they need to follow the controls that been stated in the security policies. Okay. Okay. Summary of this categorization. Okay. Because one of the things we try to highlight the human firewall at all levels in the organization. First, we want to influence the employee behavior towards security concern. Okay, the security policy emphasizes that every employee need to wear employee card. Okay, the importance of employee card, and then when they wear is one of their concern about the security. Okay. It means that appropriate security perception and consumption among employee can influence the employees' behavior and make them security conscious. Second, okay, as we highlighted the participation from all employees, from top management, technical and users, we are required participation from all employees. Everyone is responsible. We giving them rules. Okay. For example, for virus threat, they know, everyone knows how to do the scanning. They know how to delete the virus. This is we call it as a basic security task, and involve participation from all employees. Okay. The objective is to make sure the recovery time is shorter, and the third one is to create a secure environment within the organization. As I mentioned in my previous slides, okay, once everyone perform the security activities on the daily basis, it will reduce the potential of security incident will be happen. Okay, because everyone is perform these activities. And then if everyone follows, then it become everyone priority to create a secure environment. Okay, and then that's it for my very short talk for this afternoon at your side. That's it. Any question and answer? Hello?
Thank you.
Any question and answer?
Is there any questions from the audience here?
Well, thank you, Professor Ahmed Zakaria, for the insightful keynotes. So as we come to the end of the conference, we would like to thank all our keynote speakers, and we'd like to ask for the presenter as well. If you have your presentation, please you can send your presentation before the start of your sessions to the IT department. And again, we would like to give the deep appreciation for the British University of Dubai and the National University of Malaysia and the cybersecurity